identify the role that they're actually playing. They're saying one thing, but they're demonstrating and they're living out another thing, and they think the psychology of what they're doing is not interfering with the intellect, and the reality of the children.
Now,
That's
no, you're absolutely right. But the thing is, what we have to remember too is that for this system, it was supposed to be a Christian system, right? Christianity has lost its usefulness. All right? It's outlived its usefulness. So now they're going to destroy it. Okay? So now they're going to start bringing out their truths about their lies with Christianity. Okay?
Put it in satire.
So, well, they got a show called Living Biblically.
Yeah.
Right? Where they're making fun of Christianity, basically.
Yeah.
They're making fun of religion, basically. And then they ask the question, well, why do you think atheism is on the rise? Because you're programming people not to believe in God.
That's right.
Okay? Go ahead.
My thing is, why didn't they protect the children? They took one, not priest, and sent them to another parish, and this went on for years. Why didn't they protect the children? That's my question.
Well, see, the thing is this.
Children is the aim.
that was a part of their culture.
Yeah.
Of their history in Europe. This is what they would do. So it's funny. They said that the psychiatrists, they have this manual. They talk about different classifications for people with certain problems and stuff like that. So with pedophilia, they're thinking about changing the term from pedophilia to minor attracted, because they want to take the sting off of that term, just like they did with homosexual. They changed homosexual from homosexual to what? What was the term they changed it to?
Gay.
Gay.
But it's
Happy.
different now,
Yeah.
supposed to, because I had to do a training on this work in school, questioning all this other stupid terms. There's not just homosexual questioning. I guess you don't know the sex you are. It was just so crazy, the stuff that they had me to read. I just had to flip through it. I couldn't even, it was just crazy.
Couldn't process it. There's a verse in Surah Nisa where Allah says that Shaitan would get man to tamper with the creation. All right? To tamper or change and alter the creation. And this is what they're doing. When you talk about GMOs, genetically modified foods and all of that kind of stuff, when you talk about what they're doing with the family, what they're doing with gender, all of this stuff, this is Shaitan tampering with the nature, with Allah's creation. So the thing is that, like I said, there is so much in the Quran, to guide us. And if we follow that guidance and we stay together and follow that guidance, we can start to unify the Muslims. Because the one thing, Allah says in the Quran, He says, do not divide your deen up into sects. But, it says, have no part in that. Okay? But what do we have? We have Sunni Muslims, we got Shiite Muslims, we got all of these different types of Muslims which talk about division, all right? Where Allah tells us to work together and let Him decide between us. Okay? But we're caught up. We're caught up. It specifically says no breaking up, dividing your religion into sects.
Yeah,
and this is what Allah says, but we want to listen to the imams and the scholars and all of this stuff that's telling us other things other than what Allah is saying. Yeah. So, who are we going to listen to?
Allah says in Surah Hajj, ayah 78, that He has named you Muslims. There is no Shiite, there is no Sunni, there is no Ahmadiyya, Hamawi, there's no Salafi, there's none of that. It's just plain Muslim.
Right.
And all that stuff didn't come along until afterwards. And Prophet Muhammad Islam, he said that his community would, he said the Jews would be 71, I'm sorry, Jews 71, Christians 72, and his community will be 73 sets.
Right.
So that prophecy has come true. So now what we got to do now is turn it around. Say, okay, now you got all these sets. Now let us go back and become one again.
Right.
Because the bottom line is that anyone, because when people ask me, what are you? I say Muslim.
Right.
What are you? Muslim.
Right.
So when they keep on going, I say, well, I tell you what, if you follow my movement, you may say I'm a Sunni. But if you follow other Muslims, you'll get the same thing, because we all pray similar. We all have the 5 pillars. We have the articles of faith and all that. But there is no, the only ones that's out of order is when somebody have a name attached to it.
Right.
You know, have attached to it. But the bottom line is that we just plain Muslim, just like that cat, that dog, that bee, that tree, that rock. Everything is Muslim.
Right.
You know, and the human being is the only one that messes around and changes up and say, well, I'm this, I'm that, and other. And it came well after Prophet Muhammad. But there's no set when Prophet Muhammad was alive, not a one.
Well, see, the thing is that it's about division.
Yeah.
So, you know, they have infiltrated Islam, and they've set up these sects. Okay? And the thing is that, you know, Allah tells us that the Quran is protected.
True.
The religion is not protected. It's the Quran that's protected. It's the guidance that's protected. So the thing is that that's why you can have people come in and, you know, make these divisions, because it's you know, it's not protected.
Well, if I may, and somewhat it is, because when the Quran is protected, the deen itself, Allah in the Quran says it's deen Allah, and that is His religion. We say, somebody asks you what is your religion, it's not ours, it's Allah's, it's deen Allah. What happens is that there's 6 places in the Quran where Allah says al-Islam, and there's 2 places where it's just Islam. And one of them you used a while ago, or you said it, that's basically it's chapter 9, verse 74, where there are people who faking it till they make it. These are people who have the pretense, so they dress up like a Muslim. They have all the terms and everything. The kids in school, a lot of them, they never took Shahada. Their parents dressed them up like that. You know, and if they did take Shahada, they know what they was doing, because they did, then they wouldn't be out on the street doing all the things that they're doing. So a lot of times, just like in Christianity, everybody in here on Sunday going to get up out of here and go where? To church, right? Well, same thing with Muslims when they come in, and what they do is they have their children to bear their cross. Get up and make salat. Get on in there and make wudu. They holler at them, they scream at them, and then you're not supposed to do it, because it says in the Quran, it says, let there be no religion. La let there be no religion, let there be no compulsion of religion. So what happens is that they break that. Because if I'm going to be Muslim, everybody from here is going to be a Muslim. Like Christians said in their household, the same thing. But if they follow what Allah says in Quran, and if they follow the Quran based on the Prophet Muhammad, then we wouldn't have all that. So the children go into the school system, and they just wearing kufis and kimars and niqabs and all this kind of stuff, and acting a pure fool, because they don't even have a clue of what this deen is all about. Right. So actually the deen proper, it has been hijacked. Basically, it's been hijacked.
But that's why I said that it's not protected. Because something that's protected can't be hijacked. Mm-hmm. The Quran is protected. It can't be hijacked.
Okay, okay, I have to look at that, because I have to come back with that, because I do know that it's a law, because the law in the Quran said that he said that his deen would be foremost, even though the polytheists may reject it. So it is the ones who's following the deen proper. Now the people that's out, and if they're faking it, you'll know who they are. You know who they are, because they're not living the deen the way it's supposed to be. So it's the job of those people, like the woman in there say, he's doing such thing. That's our job. Well, our job as Muslims who are supposed to be Muslim proper, our job is to set everybody on straight. But what happens is that since I moved back here, this next month will make 5 years I've been back here, and all I'm hearing now is, that won't work, they won't let us, this, that, and other. I'm hearing a whole bunch of negativity. And so in the meantime, nobody's doing anything. Nobody's doing dawah. Nobody's doing anything. You know, and right now, I can look around the room, just like I can look in the Musalla. I can look at any program we have, and it's always what? Us. Not just women, but us. Older people who except for yourself, you're younger, probably young to be my son, but on the other side of the mountain. And there's a phrase that Imam Abdullah said some years ago. He says like raining on the ocean. And so right now, a lot of us A lot of stuff you're even talking about, a lot of us know about it, maybe not as high, but there's a lot that we do know about subliminal seduction, Wilson Brown's Keys book and all that. Email wrote him how to book it, all that stuff down to us when he first came in office.
Right.
But what happens is that there need to be youth inside here so they can get it. And what's happening is that right now the only ones that's hungry for it or is willing to come and spend time to get information and perhaps can go back and maybe affect somebody is us. But right now there need to be young people inside here. And then the young people, they are where? They're with the Salafi. They're with all these other people because they think that's the real thing, because anybody that got gray, anybody that's older, you don't have a hawk. And especially if you came from Nation of Islam. Now, if you came from Islam, well, you're not a real Muslim, you're fake. See, this is all the stuff that we got to...
But this is what I'm saying. This is the dissension. This is the division that's been caused. So they have infiltrated, the deen.
But Allah working it out though. That's the whole thing.
That's because Allah has a plan. Just as they plan, Allah also plans.
Yeah. So it's not going. It's just a minor. It's just certain things coming in here. But the meanwhile, like myself, I try to attend everything, even though I'm 70. I pray. I jokingly said not too long ago. I said, I like to get at least 45 more years out of my belt, under my belt. And I laughed about it. So the next day, her mother, Sister Elaine, came up to me and said, I want to show you something. And she showed me a woman 191 years old. What was that? Where was she at and where? I forgot where she was at. Anyway, 191. So I said, well, dang, I just said 45, which only made me 115. I would have been a baby to her, whatever the case may be. But the bottom line is that I see, because of all the stuff going, if I can just get 45 more years, I thought, all the stuff I got on my back burner, the books I want to write, I can bring all that stuff forward, start doing certain things to be able to let people know what Islam was all about. Right. And not just this masquerade, because I can get up there on that stage with a puppet. And I can dress it up like a Muslim, and I can pull the strings and talk like a big ventriloquist to have it to say certain things, and that's what's going on with these people, because their whole thing is the ulama. Who is the ulama? What are they? What are they? Never met them. They don't know anything about us over here, but yet they make what? Fatwas on how we supposed to live our life over here. That's what I'm talking about.
But it's control perception. Control perception.
We sisters are divided when it comes to dress. You don't have bag on, you don't have gloves on, you don't have a tie on, you don't have an overgarment on. It's just like we really messed it up.
But see, that's the whole thing with division. It's fine. See, we have to learn to agree to disagree, and still maintain our brotherhood and our sisterhood. Because we'll get in a little spat, and then we're mad at each other. I ain't talking to that sister. That sister said this. That sister said that. So the thing is that, like I said, we have to learn, to agree to disagree, and that's fine, But the thing is that the only way that we're going to, the Quran says, Allah won't change the condition of a people until they attempt to change it themselves. So until we start putting forth an effort, Allah is not going to give us that aid. Okay, so
He gave us the blueprint and we have to follow it.
Right, but he gave us. See, this is one thing what a lot of people don't understand. Islam is the whole message. It's the totality of the message, from Adam to Muhammad. Islam didn't start with Prophet Muhammad. Okay, it started with Adam and ended with Muhammad, because Allah says, "This day I have completed your way of life for you." Right? In the Quran, it tells you that Ibrahim was a what? He was a Muslim. Okay, so the thing is that they all followed the same. It's the same guidance.
I think that was Allah's mercy, because He sent thousands of prophets.
Right.
So that means we were really, really hard-headed, because He kept sending people.
But it's funny, because there was a saying that sometimes Allah makes you sick so that you turn to Him. Okay, because some people, they're so caught up in their day-to-day life that they're not really thinking what's going on. They're so caught up with society
Mhm.
that they're so entertained that they're not paying attention. And Allah causes them to get sick because that's one of the last resorts that people call when they start to call on God when they become sick. So, you know, this this life is hard, but yet it's so easy. You know, and it's man that complicates everything. It's man that's, you know, creating these divisions through the whispers of Shaitan, because Shaitan understands what to do. Shaitan, okay, I know how to get these people. Let me divide them. I'll divide them this way. I'll divide them that way, because they're not following the guidance that Allah has prescribed for them. You know, so, you know, it's been a beautiful session just to sit here and have conversation with believers like this, you know, just to talk and to, you know, share, you know.
Are you putting this out on social media so people can know to come?
I haven't done that. I just brought the flyers to the masjid when we get ready to do something. But I did bring
Yeah, back here, the flyers.
I put some flyers over there of the past ones that we did here and at Masjid Muhammad, one at a community center, just so that you can kind of catch up with some of the stuff that we've done. Because a lot of times it's so hard for me to do a presentation here because I'm thinking about the past audience and, you know, the new people coming. So, you know, I know it's stuff that they missed. So I try to put stuff on YouTube. Brother Nassim, he's good enough to take the sessions for us, and you know. So, inshallah. Go ahead, sister.
I just want to take the time to thank you for all that you do, and you not judging your success of getting the message out based upon how many people is in your audience. So that, you know, that's alhamdulillah.
That's right.
For you to have that spirit and to want to share to bring us up to date. So we those of us that come on a consistent basis and make the sacrifice, we really do appreciate all that you do to try to get the message out.
Well, I appreciate y'all, because the thing is, with this, for me, you wouldn't believe how much research I've done and all the stuff that I've collected. And for you to be able to sit and me to share with you some of the things that I found, that's alhamdulillah.
But I want us to be able to get your schedule and to be able to, amongst us, to be able to, even if we just brought one person, two people,
Right.
you know, so that because I want us to get to the point, like this young lady right here. To me, that's an individual that's calling out for help. She needs attention. Now, of course, she didn't get the help. When we talk about thinking that this system is going to help us, the system is not going to help us. We're not in their plan. Now, when you watch a Dr. Phil show, when the 6 Caucasians come up there on his show, he got his specialist there already in the audience to take them off that stage and take them somewhere to get help. This child was one of them that needed to go somewhere and get the help. But that's expecting the white man to do that for us. They're not going to do it. And then what we do, we look at it and say, well, she crazy, she this, she that. No, this is a child that's sick. She's mentally ill at this time, and she needs. We some of us know what the norm look like. You know, now younger people might not know, but a lot of us know what the norm look like and what is normal. And when we see the sick people that's out there and they're calling out for help, then we got to do.
There was somebody in the audience from Atlanta, an African American woman, who invited her to Atlanta to meet up with some other professionals that would help her, and she flat out said no. She said, "I definitely don't want to hear from no hood rat."
Well,
She called it.
mental health people do you know that's in the field? What makes you distinguish you from the norm to the abnorm? Anybody that is suffering in that area, they got that They don't have the ability to do what those of us have the ability to do. So nobody, the average last one of them is not gonna know they need help, like Jennifer Lewis said the other day on TV about Kanye West.
Yeah.
You know, he's a man, she said, I already know, but I take what I need to take to be where I'm at in my life, because she's bipolar, she got issues, she knows, and it's not a secret.
Right.
But we gotta know it in order to claim it, in order for us to love.
You have to know that there's a problem first. You have to know it. Like you said, some people don't recognize they have a problem. It's like dealing with an addict.
Yes.
They don't know they have a problem. They think it's the norm.
It's the norm.
Right. Yeah. And some people have been raised in it so that it's become normalized.
Dysfunction. I had to meet somebody. I didn't know that I came up in a dysfunctional environment until I went to college. And now you get the education that what a dysfunctional household looks like.
I could have swore she was offered help. I really do. I said I could have swore she was offered help, and she turned them down. She did offer them help. I was sitting right there and listening. She said, "No, I'm not."
But that's interesting that you said that, because they're putting dysfunctional families on television to make it seem as if it's the norm.
Exactly.
This is how the normal family should be.
Excuse me, when is the next session?
It's up to y'all.
Whatever your schedule is, inshallah, put it out.
What do y'all want to do? 2 weeks, or because we still have to finish. We still have to finish a lot of the information from Sunday, and we still have to finish this one.
Whatever's good for you, inshallah, I'll try to make it.
So let's do what's good for you all.
Well, we need to look at the calendar, because I know for the month of November,